Cardiac cycle. Cardiac cycle is the sequence of events related to the flow of blood pressure that occurs during one heartbeat. The heart regularly and rhythmically contracts and relaxes at short intervals throughout life without pause and fatigue. This inherent activity is called as beating or pulsation. Each pulsation or heartbeat obviously have two phases. One is contraction, the other one is relaxation phase. The contraction phase is called as systole, the relaxation phase is called as diastole. So the events of cardiac cycle will be shown in 4 steps. The first one is joint diastole, second is atrial systole, the third one is ventricular systole, and the last one is ventricular diastole. In joint diastole, all the 4 chambers of heart are in a relaxed state, that is, they are in joint diastole. So the tricuspid and bicuspid valves will be open. Blood will be collected into left atrium and right atrium from their respective veins, that is pulmonary veins and vena cava. The semilunar valves are also closed at this stage, and 70% of the filling of ventricles will take place during atricular diastole. 70% of the filling of ventricles takes place during auricular diastole. Atrial systole. The sinoatrial node now generates an action potential which stimulates both the atria to undergo a simultaneous contraction, which is considered as atrial systole. This increases the flow of blood into the ventricles by about 30%. The action potential is conducted to the ventricular side by the AVN and AV bundle, from where the bundle of His transmits it through the entire ventricular musculature. This causes the ventricular muscles to contract. The atria undergoes relaxation, coinciding with the ventricular systole. Ventricular systole increases the ventricular pressure, causing the closure of tricuspid and bicuspid valves due to attempted backflow of blood into the atria. This closure of AV valves at the beginning of ventricular systole produces a sound called as lub, and this is known as the heart first sound. Ventricular systole. Ventricular systole increases the ventricular pressure and it causes the closure of tricuspid and bicuspid valves, and the closure of bicuspid and tricuspid valves makes a heart first sound, which is considered as lub. As the ventricular pressure increases further, the semilunar valves guarding the pulmonary artery and the aorta are forced open, and this allows the blood in the ventricles to flow through these vessels into the circulatory pathways. And the last one is ventricular diastole. The ventricles now relax and the ventricular pressure falls, causing the closure of semilunar valves. And the closure of semilunar valves makes the heart's second sound, which is called as dub sound. As the ventricular pressure declines further, the tricuspid and bicuspid valves are pushed open by the pressure in the atria exerted by the blood, which was being emptied them by the veins. The blood now once again moves freely to the ventricles. As we all know that the heartbeat per minute is 72 times, and the duration of a cardiac cycle is 0.8 seconds. The duration of a cardiac cycle is 0.8 seconds. During a cardiac cycle, each ventricle pumps out approximately 70 ml of blood, and this is considered as stroke volume. Cardiac output is the volume of blood ejected from the left ventricle into the aorta per minute. And this cardiac output is equal to stroke volume into heart rate. So that is 70 ml into 72. So approximately 5040 ml per minute is the cardiac output. The body has the ability to alter the stroke volume as well as the heart rate and therefore the cardiac output. The cardiac output of an athlete will be much higher than that of an ordinary man.